Well, hello all, how are you doing? This is a slightly impromptu live. I just thought we've got the Ecamm Live Academy opening up on Monday. We've got an extra course that we've just fitted in, and I figured, why don't I come on here? Because actually I'm getting questions back from people asking about it. And so right now, I'm very conscious of some of you might not even know what I'm talking about with Ecamm Live, let alone the Academy. So I just want to spend a few minutes and really go through, and we're going out to YouTube hopefully right now, and to the Facebook page and to the Facebook group. I'm restreaming out, so let me know if you're on, which channel you're coming in from. I just want to go over what is Ecamm Live first of all. What is this tool that you hear me going on about? Can you see any benefits in it? I have to say right up front that it is a Mac only bit of software, so sorry if you're a PC user. There isn't currently a version of this that can help you. But I'd love to just walk you through Ecamm Live. Max is on from Facebook. Hi Max, how are you doing? Just want to walk you through what is Ecamm Live first of all, and then just unpack and explain what is the Ecamm Live Academy. John's on. Good to have you guys here. Actually, I'll show you in a minute my screen, and you can see I get this big. So Max I can see is on Facebook. John's I can see is on YouTube. Look at that. Awesome. So let's jump into it. So actually, those of you that are on at the minute, do you know what Ecamm is? Are you following me? Are you on this channel because of Ecamm? Or are you just kind of thinking, what is he going on about talking about Ecamm Live? Well, honestly, Ecamm Live, I was going to say in my opinion, I don't know that it's even in my opinion, is absolutely the best live streaming platform that you can get your hands on. And incredibly valued. The basic plan is only $15 a month. The Pro is $25 a month, so still cheaper than the competition anyway. It's the only one that is actually, it sits on my computer rather than it being web-based. And I'm going to take you through and show you all the awesome features that it has and all what you can do. Kirsten, I was just trying to read how I was getting your name in there. Kirsten, you're very welcome, Kirsten. So there's loads of you right now that have been forced to live stream. It's not just those of us that enjoy it or we're doing it because it's a marketing tool, and Facebook Lives are the best way to get interaction with an audience, and you can do Q&As and all of this. Actually, there's a lot of you who have been forced now. You've been doing events, maybe you'd got events planned and you're trying to see a way of getting it online, and how can you do a decent presentation. There are churches who are all now, they've been forced online, and you're trying to keep something going. Lots of other reasons, businesses as well, trying to still do presentations and just keep things going. If that's you and you're on a Mac or have access to a Mac, you're going to really like this. Amir's on as well. Hi Amir, good to have you. Thank you for jumping in. Thank you for, I realise I've just thrown this up there. Right, let me just run through some features really that are on here. And so if you, for instance, now if you were on I'm using my camera here at the minute. I've got a Panasonic camera that's connected in here, which works regardless of what platform we're using. If I had a Canon camera, and coincidentally I've got one just up here, this is my Canon camera, and actually it only needs to have a USB cable to come into Ecamm, and it can work that way. Now I've just given away the fact, actually, I didn't do that right, did I? I've just shown you that actually this is a green screen behind me, but what I've done is I've taken a photo of the background so that as you can see on this one then, I can just pull that screen up behind me and it gives me the same view. Now, partly because in a minute I'm going to do a screen share and I want to show you how green screen can be used really well, and it just saves me putting that banner up and down. But actually that's quite believable, isn't it? Now you know it, you can probably see as a slight cut out to me, but green screen is one of the big features of Ecamm, and I used to think it was, a bit tacky. Who's going to use green screen? Actually, it works so well. As you're going to see in a minute, different applications. But I've looked at the likes of ScreenFlow for doing record only and using their green screen. I've had a look at the alternatives, even Zoom doing their green screen, StreamYard, others that they just can't get this cut out the same. The guys at Ecamm have done an amazing job of developing this green screen that it can work like this, and I can put up anything that I want behind me. I mean, at the minute that's my view there, but I can change and I can have this beach scene. I can put any kind of video clip or image behind me that I like. I'm just going to cut back to this one for now before I lose you all. Dean saying, I've been so busy doing my lives. Yeah. What's the brand of green screen? This is actually a Niwa, but I have to say, after being at Social Media Marketing World with Ecamm, they had the Elgato, and I think it's about $30 more, but it definitely was a better build than this. Wambui, is that right? Loving Ecamm, awesome. Don't we all? So what do we do? I haven't got very far down this list yet. I was talking about the Canon camera. We then went on to explaining about green screen. Now, if you use your phone, you can bring that in. I haven't got that set up. I can bring that in and show you in a few minutes if you're interested. But you can actually bring, just by simply attaching your iPhone in to your Mac, Ecamm will see it as a camera feed. It will bring it into here. And again, it works really well as another camera feed. Definitely, if you wanted a camera above, for instance, there are customers of mine who are doing jewelry or crafts, and to be able to have a camera view coming straight down and for you to be able to sit over it, amazing. So using that, also using an iPad screen. This is what will come out of the Academy, and I'll explain more about the Academy in a few minutes' time. But we get in there and we're talking about things, and someone says, how can I do a whiteboard? And my brain starts going, and before we know it, we've plugged an iPad in and we've used one of these paint programs with a pen. And actually what I'm doing is I'm drawing, or I'm doing notes down here on my iPad, and it's filling this screen behind me, and I've sat in the corner while this is going. Does an amazing job of a virtual whiteboard going on behind you. Slideshows, and let me show you the slideshow side of this. So, and this is why I wanted to be cut out, because you can see now how well this works with me transparent. There's no kind of blurring around the edge of me there. So what I've done is I've been off to PowerPoint, or in this case, what's it called? Keynote. I've been into Keynote on a Mac, and I've created a PowerPoint. I've saved all my slides. I've set them to 16:9 to the size of this, and then I save it out as a PDF image, and I've dropped it in here as an image. And look what I can do. I can click here and I can work through this as a presentation. I could be pointing up here at the stats and things going on. Can you see how powerful that would be as a presentation? This could actually be, well, there's lots of ways you could use this. I'm trying to think of churches and applications of using this as well. Thinking of words and things. Might be a bit tougher, actually. I know a lot of you use things like ProPresenter, and I'm not quite sure how that works, if I'm honest. Just got zero experience with it. But what you can be doing is to bring in pre-recorded videos. I will keep up with the questions in a minute. I can see there's some questions coming in at the side of me. I just want to keep going through this, and then I'm going to jump back to your questions. So stay with me. Because I am thinking, and this has been a common question lately, is churches and how do we do the presentation? Does it have to be live? Maybe your pastor, vicar, whoever doesn't want to actually do it live. It wants to be pre-recorded. Well, you can still MC the thing. You can still come on here. You could have somebody coming in, and for instance, I could be up here welcoming people. I've got the chat going and I'm pulling those questions onto the screen if I want to. Or you can just leave that running in the background. I definitely would recommend that you leave the chat open. Bear in mind, this could be, most of you guys are here actually on YouTube. I'm also going out to Facebook at the same time, to a page and a group. So the feed's going out. I would leave the chat on. And then look, imagine now, I'm just going to show you a testimonial from David, which is about a minute and a half long. Just watch this. This is actually him talking about the Academy, but just see how easy this is using scenes inside Ecamm for me to cut to a video, and then I'm going to tell it when it gets to the end of the video to come to the next scene.
Well, hey there, hero. I'm David H. Lawrence the 17th. I'm an actor here in Los Angeles and a voiceover talent and teacher. And I use Facebook Lives and YouTube Lives all the time for my teaching academy called VOHeroes.com. And I wish I had the enthusiasm and the joviality and the patience that Adrian Salisbury has, because I'm telling you, this guy knows what he's talking about when it comes to photography. He's been a photographer for years and knows what he's talking about when it comes to Ecamm. He's like a huge expert, and he took me from zero to hero in knowing Ecamm Live and working with Ecamm Live. Even the things that I'm doing, taking the pictures and the logo on and off the screen, it's what he taught me, and it took a couple of days. So if you use Facebook Live and YouTube Live and maybe Restream.io for all the things that you do in your business, I cannot recommend another highly enough another course other than the Ecamm Live Academy. It is so worth it. And this particular special deep dive with the lives every day, oh my God, so useful. So useful. I hope this helps. I'm David H. Lawrence the 17th, and I thank you so much.
And I've sat here and done nothing, and it gets to the end of that video and it ticks over, and this is the next scene that I've got queued up. So can you see how if you were running a show or a service, I could go, right, I'm going to intro it, I'm going to then cut to a clip, maybe it might be a music, a presentation, and then it comes back to me. Then I'm going to do some notices and things. They could be pre-recorded. Then I'm going to go to a preach, and that could be pre-recorded. And it all just becomes a show, and all you are is sitting here doing the bits in between, managing, producing this. Now that's just churches. The same thing applies for presentations. Maybe you'd lined up to do an event, and why don't you, as Ecamm are doing in a few weeks' time with their big boot camp, we're going to be, all of us presenters are pre-recording our videos, and it's becoming a show. It's becoming a boot camp. So you're going to be able to come into this. You could do the same thing as a live event, and you could have pre-recorded content coming into it from other people, right? If you don't want to get them on live, massively powerful. You can bring in, talking about that, you can bring in guests on Skype. I could be interviewing and I could be side by side with a guest. It's going to look a little bit odd, but imagine this was my guest coming alongside me. Actually, even let me just show you this, because even the camera on here, I can adjust. I know the angle's off, but look, I can adjust the other person's camera as they're coming in. And if they were on green screen, I can actually control their green screen from here. So there's only part of it done, but can you see that? So that could be a remote guest that you're interviewing, but actually you can be controlling the green screen if they had a green screen behind them. So it becomes very easy for you to produce a show as well. It's huge. There is so much inside this. I love it. And then all of that, if you want to, if you have to be on Zoom, a lot of you are using Zoom, certainly for presentations or small groups. Everything that you can see here, there is a virtual cam in the pro level of Ecamm, and that will then feed out. And if you open up Zoom, when you look at your camera source, one of them will be Ecamm, and your video feed can come straight in out of Ecamm into Zoom, which is amazing. So such a powerful tool. Let me just jump on here with a couple of questions, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about the Academy. So Serenity's saying, love the videos. Quick question. How do you prevent lag when comments on your live? Right. Yeah, hard to engage. Honestly, there's no way around it. What there is on YouTube, I have to say. If you're going to Facebook, there is always a delay, and it might be 10, 20 seconds. The trick to it is not asking a question. So rather than me going, right, Serenity, what do you mean to that? What do you mean by that? Just let me know in the comments. and then I sit here and wait because I've got to wait for it to get to you, and then I've got to allow time for you to reply and come back to me. So the trick to it, and this happens on every live that you do on Facebook, there is a delay. So you have to get used to it of going, right, so let me know in the comments, and while I'm waiting for that, let me just tell you about this, and then you pick up those comments. So it can become a bit disjointed. If you're on YouTube, there is a setting that talking about latency, and you can push that to the highest latency level, and it is getting very close to real time. Rob's asking about green screen, getting the lighting right so your skin tone doesn't look weird. Yep. The problem is, dare I say it, partly down to it is down to the camera. If, for instance, let me pull in here the camera off this monitor. Which one is it? FaceTime. No, that's the wrong one. Why can't I see my monitor? It's not showing me it as an option. That's a bit odd. I was going to show you the monitor coming in here. A basic webcam that doesn't allow you to adjust the color, the white balance, is going to look at this big green screen behind you, and usually it makes you look quite grey, is typically the effect. So with a camera, I can preset this and I can adjust the white balance how I want. So it's largely down to that. If you've got a camera, then I can help you get it set up. We can absolutely change you around regardless of what's going on behind you. But yeah, it is a common problem, and actually even down to it looking warm or cool to match in with the color behind to make it look like you really are there. Brilliant. So we've got some using it, playing the videos presumably. There you go, Serenity. See what I mean? So you've got to keep going with that. Can you push to Facebook from Ecamm whilst pushing to YouTube via Zoom simultaneously? Hey? That sounds like, how's that going to work? That's two separate. You're on about going to YouTube from Zoom. You can go to Facebook and Zoom at the same time. Sorry, Facebook and YouTube at the same time as I'm doing now. Zoom is a separate, if I can take this feed, so basically inside Zoom, it sees Ecamm as my camera feed. But I've got to go live from Zoom, which is different to me than going live from Ecamm. So it's two separate things. Does that make sense? 14-day trial isn't functioning. Yep, you should be able to. I don't understand why it won't be functioning. You could download it again and have a try. Ecamm are excellent. Now, I don't work for Ecamm. I run the Pro Video Academy and I run the Ecamm Live Academy. So basically I do all the official training for Ecamm, but I'm not part of Ecamm. So I would, if you're having problems like that with the thing loading, there should be no issues why it wouldn't load up. So I would maybe download it again, put in your email address that will kick it in. If you have any problems, talk to them and they can either extend your trial or whatever. But they're excellent at their support. Found that if you jack up the latency, you get buffering. Yes, potentially. So, yeah, and that's why that latency is there. So you either have the delay for everybody, or you can try and ramp up that latency to the extra high or whatever it calls it. And there is a risk that it is going to buffer for people. I've tried it and found it to be okay. But, yeah. If I buy a Blackmagic camera, will it work with Ecamm Live? Yes, you will need to go through a HDMI converter. Blackmagic do their own one, or you can go through something like a Camlink. That would be a fantastic camera, actually. I mean, do you need a Blackmagic camera? You could do it way cheaper, but if you want the excuse to go out and buy a Blackmagic camera, I'm not going to stop you. Don't need to download it again. I would start there, I think. Have a try. And if you're getting stuck, you'll have had an email from Ecamm anyway, or go to the ecamm.com website, and their support will definitely jump on that and get you going straight away. Right, before I jump on, Felicia's just asking about audios. Let me just talk to you quickly about the Ecamm Live Academy. So as you can see, this is a huge product and it's incredible. There's nothing else like Ecamm for live streaming. Even when I was talking to somebody the other day and we were on about, doing like a show and bringing a guest on over Skype, and I realized that the web-based platforms, I really like StreamYard. I have to say, as a web-based platform, I really like StreamYard. But little things like I'm used to being able to see my sound levels down here and my guest sound levels, and I can adjust them if maybe one of us is higher than the other and you want to hear us at the same volume. Little things like that. I can adjust the color and brightness around. So I don't think there's anything better than this, but very conscious that you could download this and be like, where do I start? And yes, there's a whole load of how-to videos that I've put up online, and I'm going to say they're great because I made them, but they are that, they're how-tos, and you're kind of jumping in. What we do in the Academy, so it is a 2-week boot camp, and it's starting on Monday. It's $99, so it's not a lot of money. And you can come in, and on day one, I drip out a set of videos and say, here's your action. They follow one after the other. Here's an introduction. In the next video, you're going to do this. In the next video, you're going to learn this. And you work through it. And then every day, I show up on a live into the group, doing things like this, answering questions, pulling it all together, and usually going down a bit of a tunnel with some of these things and go, this is where the idea of using an iPad and, an Apple Pen and things like this, and just because actually I'm drawing off your questions and inspiration and we're throwing it around, and we usually end up coming up with some amazing things on these lives. So every day you'll get an email saying this block of videos has been released. And actually I was just going to show you over here what this looks like. So let me just quickly screen share this. This is inside. It's not live at the minute. I've got it turned off so nobody can see what's going on. Introduction, unboxing, finding your way around, a tip there about Wi-Fi, going live, upgrading equipment, branding, using scenes. Scenes is, for so many people, this has been the big gold nugget, the one that they've gone, actually that was worth the course just for learning how to do this and how to do like I'm doing now, production, sort of setting that up, planning it in advance. Oops, turning the wrong thing. Then we go through an level 2, every day's got an introduction. Preparing for live streams, should you go to a page or a group, going live into a Facebook, going live into YouTube, Periscope and Twitch, record only. If you don't actually want to go live, but you want to use all this and make a presentation that you can save and upload or edit it, or just use it as a podcast, but you want to do the interview this way, you can do record only. Sharing your screen. Then level 3, day 3, how to interview someone, preparing for an interview, using a green screen like we're doing now. Day 4, sharing a phone or an iPad screen, using your phone as a camera. Changing the stream size, slideshow presentation, snap camera. Had some fun filters in that. Level 5, day 5, using the virtual webcam, talking about going out to Zoom and doing things like that. Simultaneously to restream, exactly what I'm doing now, and using an Elgato Stream Deck. So you can see there's a whole lot of content we're going through there. But it's way more than just going through the content. It is pulling it together and it being done in a very logical way, step by step, that you're going, okay, this is level 1. I've got that under my belt. Great. Now we move on to level 2. Now we move on to level 3. It just works, guys. I promise you. This, just running down, this is my registration page where I would love you to go over to. adriansalisbury.com. I'll put it in the description here anyway, but adriansalisbury.com/Ecamm Live Academy. If you're on my page, it's in the banner. Yes, if you're on my group, it's in the banner. As it says there, it's just $99. Starts Monday morning. Check out some of these testimonials. There's David. Here's some quotes in here. A whole wave of testimonials down here that people have said, frequently asked questions. So that's the Academy, and it's popping up, and it's all happening on Monday. So it's a bit short notice, which is why I thought I really need to get in here, answer some questions, which I'm about to do right now, and just encourage you. I can't recommend this enough. If you want to get going with Ecamm, this is the place to get started. And look, I didn't particularly plan to be disappearing down here, but here are some of those. This is what I'm on about from day one, talking about the scenes. It's only day one. Been really blessed and empowered to use this software on another level. Well worth the expenditure. Somebody else says, thank you for offering so much helpful content. Mind blown. I had somebody else, I haven't pulled it onto here. Somebody else said on the page, what did they put? Where's it gone? Where did it say? It said something about drinking from a fire hydrant. I can't find it. Someone can find it on the page and tell me where it is. Felt it was like learning was like drinking from a fire hydrant. It was just so much information being thrown all at once, but they absolutely loved it. What else did we have? This one I thought was, I love this. This really summarizes it. And then I'm going to get onto your questions. Thank you, Adrian. Like many people in our group, this came in at the end of the fortnight. I've had Ecamm for some time, but I'd never exploited its powerful features. Because I lacked experience, I didn't have the confidence to press the go live button. Consequently, my online training and presence has been limited. You've been the perfect guide, a winsome personality, tremendous knowledge, and a plan. Day by day, I became familiar with mind-blowing features and was inspired by others. What an awesome group. Each day you challenged us, and though it was a little scary, I went live in our group. It wasn't pretty at times, but I've learnt from the good and the bad. The course has been like a book that you wish would never end. I absolutely, so many people have said the same kind of thing really, but I think this was summed up so well. The experience has been refreshing, and I can't wait to go live on my own Facebook and YouTube communities with an improved brand and new tools. Watch out, world. And he has done, and definitely I've been seeing some wonderful lives coming in. Yeah. Does that make sense? Can you start seeing what this community, what this space is doing? Right, now let me jump back. I'm way behind on your questions. Let's see what we can do. So, Felicia, I think, was the first one. Can you please help me with the audio settings for the Canon M50 so that I don't have the latency? I have Ecamm Pro. So you're talking about, I don't think you're meaning latency. Are you meaning the delay in so your lip sync is out of sync? If you are meaning that, then you need to go to the audio settings. So you go into your Ecamm Live preferences, you go to audio, and then there is a slider for mic delay. And you can adjust that so that it puts you in line with your camera. But it should be pretty close, I would have thought, with the M50. Best way to use the green screen mask edges. I don't know what you're meaning. What's the best way? So I've got it turned on at the minute. Let me just show you. The reason that feature is there is because if your screen doesn't quite reach the edge, so we've got these green screens behind us, that the pop-up ones, they're not super wide. And if you find you've got a bit of a gap at the end, you can hit this mask edges and it just takes your scene all the way to the end. That's what that feature does. Optimal aperture settings. I go as wide as possible. Yeah, depends on what you've got, what you're doing, but yeah, that's how we're getting this look. Which cheaper camera do you suggest? Cheap cameras. Now, I honestly think, when I've seen webcams, yes, you can do well with a webcam, but you don't get this look with a webcam. And so I'm using, if you want to go through Ecamm and really be using Ecamm for everything that you're doing, then actually that Canon M50 that's sitting up there has face tracking. The reason I'm suggesting, so I've got a Panasonic G7, or it's a G80, 85, but G7 is exactly the same. The reason I like the Panasonic is the audio can also come through. So my audio goes into the camera and both come in as HDMI into my Mac, which means I'm less likely to get any sync problems, and it saves me having multiple inputs. One HDMI goes in. If you want to use a Canon, then you don't need that HDMI input. It can just come straight in, but you do need to have a separate audio input over USB. So, I mean, I bought a Panasonic G7 secondhand used off of eBay for about $250 recently. I then bought a lens, which was similar money, but for the $500, that's an amazing camera and setup, and it's what's giving me this effect here. And I've got $2,500 Panasonic GH5 sitting in a cupboard there. I've got a Canon 5D Mark III sitting in a cupboard over there. The quality is no different than it is on this little $500 package. The Canon is similar money. I would put a prime lens on it as well. I will help you with all of this stuff inside the Academy. Do I experience sound sync drift? No. Because I'm using this mic with the camera, they both come in across HDMI, and it just sees it as one. It comes in together. It's not like I'm syncing up two different things, and I've never noticed it drift partway through either. Do you present all these topics that you showed us as lives? So, good question, Serenity. Originally I was trying, so I'm dripping them out as courses to you, and then I'm going, right, now let's jump on a live and show you how to do this. And then I thought, this is crazy, because it's much easier. It's easier for me to record it, and I can zoom in on areas that I need to on the screen, things like that. So it's a much better quality for it to be a pre-recorded one. But what I'm doing is on those lives, unlike the kind of YouTube ones where I'm just going, right, how to live stream on YouTube, and that's it. It's a little complete video on its own. This one is like, right, so you've just done that in the last video. Now we're building on that, and now we're going to add this to it, you know? So it feels like you're working along live with me. The daily lives are really me pulling all of this sort of stuff together that's coming through, and you're going, okay, I did that today. Have a look at this video, and I might pull that in and go, look, didn't Serenity do a great video today? And you know, maybe you could have done this, or you could improve it by doing that. So it's more of a, it comes together, and you can throw in ideas. The lives aren't essential. So the actual course that I just showed you is yours for life. You can come back to this at any point. So on the lives, I'm just going, right, in today's videos, you're going to be doing this. And then I send you away. And then the next day I come back on the live, and you'll have done the work, and back we go. And the whole point that there's a second week, I'm not teaching you anything in that second week. It's your playground. It's your sandbox, if you like. So when I'm talking about interviewing, what I'm going to encourage you to do is buddy up with somebody else in the group, and you interview them, and you can do it privately. You don't have to, you can do it into our group. You interview them so you get a feel for what it's like to host an interview and bring a guest in and adjust their volumes. And then you say, right, okay, now you call me and interview me, so that you get a feel for what your guest would be like on the other end of it. So that kind of stuff. The next week is you having a play, going live, doing some practicing, playing around with your branding and stuff. Yeah. Hey, can you use Zoom instead of Skype not to bring in a guest? No. This year, Ecamm Live are changing. They're working on it at the minute, but of course now everything's up in the air. Priorities have changed. They are working on a feature to be able to bring guests straight in. So we're going to have a link that we're going to be able to send to a guest, and it brings them straight into Ecamm rather than needing to use Skype or Zoom or anything, which will be awesome. Yes, absolutely, Felicia. You've nailed it there. That's exactly what's going to be happening. So rather than a live and me going, oh, let me just find that file and pull that in, and because I've pre-recorded it, it's slick, it's straight through, it's organised. The lives, that's how I found it works. This kind of hybrid model, did we have on there? No, on the page definitely there were people saying. In fact, let me pull it up. If I can jump back to it now, I've moved everything around. So we were saying on here, thanks for an outstanding course. So Lisa learned so much first time that I signed up for the second round. Robin put, this was the best course ever. 100% agreed. Somebody else had said that I've taken so many courses in my lifetime. This was one of my favorites. I'm not saying this to blow my own trumpet, but it does work. This kind of model of, dripping out videos and then you being able to jump into them and have me on hand every day, coming in, answering all your questions, just works. Will you be able to access without going to Facebook? Yes, you can. You're just going to miss out on the lives. Because the lives are going into the Facebook group. Any reason why you're not on Facebook? Could you just kind of activate it and just come into this group? You don't need to be inviting friends and stuff like that. I definitely think it would be worth it, personally. Yep. Come on, Felicia. It would be lovely to work with you. You're dead right. Everyone that's been through the academy has watched my videos, and none of them are saying to me, oh, but I've already seen this. It does, it just goes through and it just fits it all together. And I love the phrase, you might have heard me saying it before, you don't know what you don't know. And I think you can go, right, okay, I need to go live to Facebook, so let's go and watch this video. But you're not thinking outside of that. If you come in here and you start going through it, there will be things that you're learning that you didn't even know were possible to do. And we get on a live and we talk about it and your ideas will just be going off all over the place. Marissa's on. How you doing, Marissa? Marissa's been through this. Will Zoom Q4N work well with Ecamm Live? Do I need extra mic? Pass. Not familiar. It's a webcam, isn't it? I can have a look at that if you like and come back to you. At the end of the day, you can get going with the mic that is built into your laptop, like this one, and if that's the place for you to start, you can still be doing it. You can still have all your overlays and do all the fancy things. And then we will talk about upgrading camera equipment. The Academy isn't talking how to set up this camera kit. That's my Pro Video Academy, which is a completely different course. This is all about how to use Ecamm. So whether you come in on a webcam or the webcam built into your laptop even, makes no odds. It's about you getting going with what you've got and using the tools within Ecamm to improve that. And then come the end of it, I will give you a little bonus and show you the equipment I use. I show you how I've got it all set up, and if you're interested in that, you can download an equipment list, and if you want me to help you set it up, then I'll make you an offer to do that inside the Pro Video Academy. But that's not what it's about. It's completely standalone, talking to you about Ecamm Live. Marissa said participating in the lives was phenomenal. The community was wonderful. Doing the exercises and then showing up for the lives makes a huge difference compared to classes alone. Thank you. How do I pull the messages from Facebook and YouTube into Ecamm Live? What, like this? Your video you did regarding streaming to you. Your video regarding streaming to YouTube by Restream. So that's exactly what I'm doing now. And if I were to show you my screen, let me just do this live demo mode. Okay, you can now see what I'm looking at here on my page. And you can see how I've got this tab open. This is all movable, so I can move these different elements around. Turn on and off the ones that I want. and then I pull them all back again through this. But look, so Dennis's question comes up here, and then I tick on it, and then it comes over here into the main thing. And actually, Dennis, look, I can come in here and I can edit this and totally change around the color and the branding, take the background off if I want. I'm not going to touch it because I don't want to mess it all up. Yeah, so that's what that looks like. That's how I'm doing it. The walkthrough that I did, not quite sure what you mean. If you get inside and feel that there's, you want more information on something, absolutely, that's what we do on the lives. So I can choose to go out to Facebook, to YouTube, to Periscope, to who else is it? Twitch. Or I can go to Restream, and then I have to have a Restream account, and inside Restream I can go out to anywhere. I could go to LinkedIn actually, but LinkedIn won't give me an account, which is crazy because I'm trying to do tutorials on it, but I can't get an account, and apparently they're not onboarding at the minute anyway, so there we go. Oh really? In Dubai and Skype doesn't work here? Can you use a different software to bring people on live? No, not at the minute. I think and hope we're only, months away from. I know stuff's all changed around at the minute and priorities have changed for Ecamm. But I know when we were in San Diego just over a month ago, the guys were working on this feature to be able to bring guests in, and they were getting pretty close. So obviously it will need a lot of testing. But I don't think, I would think within 6 months, I would hope you're not needing to use anything to bring guests on, just bringing them straight in. Hey, Kane, could you do a live stream on your green screen background with a talking head still on the front? Could I do a live screen on my green screen background? Not quite sure what you mean. With a talking head on the front. What I can do, if this is what you're meaning, is if I switch this camera over and then I brought a picture in of my green screen. I'm going to mess up all my scenes now, but I'm in green screen and I'm transparent picture in picture. So is this what you mean? So potentially this could be somebody that I've brought in behind me. So I could actually be, and we were doing this in the academy last time around. I interviewed somebody, I brought them in on Skype, and then I was able to go green screen and almost sit next to them in the picture. I don't know if that's what you mean. I might be totally off from what you're on about there, Kane. I don't know. But yeah, cool things that you can do. Thanks so much. Want to learn more? Amazing, very passionate. Certainly passionate. I absolutely love this. And you know what? This is why I do what I do online. It's something that I find pretty natural. I just love this. I take to it, and I want to help other people because I feel it's so sad when I see people going, "Oh, I'd love to be able to do that, but I can't get going." My main training is video. I see people saying, "I'd love to get on video, but I'm not good at it," or "I wouldn't know what camera to get," or actually they go out and buy a $2,000 camera and then it doesn't work for them, and that really breaks my heart. So yeah, I love to help people. I love to help them get over these hurdles. Marissa would be a classic of that. Is doing amazing on her videos now. He's doing like daily lives, looking every bit as high quality as what I'm producing here with a green screen behind her. She would be a classic of a success story, if you wanted one. So there you go. Look, there's Marissa. I didn't even spot this. Marissa's saying she's got people commenting on her Facebook Lives, not even realizing that it's a green screen. Did you notice that this was green screen, Marissa? I've never enjoyed the platform. I suppose I could sneak in just for you. Come on, definitely. It is worth. And I know actually one of my other customers, Michael, wasn't on Facebook, and I said to him, "You kind of got to, because actually it's if you just go through the course online, you're not getting the value out of it. The value is getting in the lives. It's getting in a community. It's seeing other people. You know, you can go live into our Facebook group and it's safe. And everyone's doing the same thing. And they're all kind of going, here I go. You know, I'm scared, but I'm going to have a go at this. I'm going to do a live. Oh, someone's just come on. Here's a comment. What do I do with it? You know, and it's a safe space. And everyone's going, yay, well done. Come on. You really will get a lot out of doing this on Facebook. Yesterday I used the first time Skype with Ecamm Live. Went well. Fantastic. How do I join the training? Wonderful. I can actually put a question in from here. If can I... Right, this page here is... I'll put it in the description afterwards, but for now, right, let me zoom in up here. Can you see this? Look, adriansalisbury.com Ecamm Live Academy is a bit of a long extension. Who's on? Marissa or somebody from my page on, or someone from Facebook, could you just go to the banner at the top of the page and right click it, or click it, and you'll get the URL, the link, and drop that in for me. That would be wonderful. Yeah, do commit. I know it's all last minute. I did answer that right, Kane. Good stuff. I know it's all very last minute. We actually next week should have been doing, and Kane was meant to be in it. Sorry, Kane. We were meant to be doing a YouTube Academy next week, but I had so many people that were messaging me or on YouTube were commenting all about Ecamm Live that I'm thinking, right, I really want to squeeze in an extra training here. We normally do the Ecamm Live Academy 3 times a year. We ran it in January, at the end of January. It will be at the end of May. When's that? September? It will be the next one. So this is a bonus. We're kind of just doing a very quick, literally on Thursday, Rachel and I, my wife, you'll find Rachel, she's in the group and doing a great job looking after everyone. Oh, awesome. Rachel got on it. Here is Rachel. You can't click this, I'm afraid, but you can see it in the comments. Click there and it will take you straight through. And I'll get a note right here pinging and saying that I've just got a new member. So that would be cool. But yeah. Come and join us. What else am I missing in here? Cyprian, love the group aspect of the sessions. Another customer. Still learning. Dennis. Yep. Oh, wow. Steve Howard. Fantastic. So I have got... And actually, this is part of the YouTube training. I hesitated with this. But actually my channel started out teaching photography, and then from that it was like, oh, what can we do with photography? So then we did, and actually Kane's daughter came round and we did some of these blowing glitter things, so you'd kind of get a bit, you know, and you take a photo and it's magical, and we did stuff like that, and then it went on to different crafts, and then really because people started saying, how do you do your videos, because they look really good, I then pivoted and shifted into teaching video. So that's why, yes, on my channel, it starts off teaching photography. There's some photo crafts, and then we're all about video these days. But great to have you here, Steve. Yeah, Cyprian's just saying, energy, creativity of the fellow classmates is infectious. Actually, Cyprian's coming back round for a second time, aren't you? And I did just pop that into the group actually and say, originally I thought we might get totally swamped and I didn't want to have too many people in here, but I am opening it up, and so those that came through previously get an alumni rate to come back through again because they've already got the course, but they just want to come back and get on the lives. That says a lot about the training. I'm afraid, you know, it's a shame that it is only Mac, because I know that it eliminates a lot of you. I know Kane, for instance, not on a Mac yet. We're going to get you on a Mac because this is going to... Oh, you're going to love this, Kane. When you see how you can do this, you know, working on... To have a camera overhead, be working down here on your desk, and then you appear green screen. In fact, do you want to have a look at that? How long have I got? No, actually I can't. I'm going on a live in 5 minutes into the Ecamm community group to do the same thing again. I didn't want to send this general group into that group. So if you're in the... is that my glitter photo? Well done, Kane. Ecamm has made my corporate meetings look so much better. Totally. Kane's saying, yeah, that's getting him on a Mac. It does, absolutely, Marissa. I mean, we're kind of playing around with this. You know, we can do some of this stuff. But for those that are now, in fact, I've been talking to somebody about doing presentations through this, and normally they would be doing live events, but actually they want to be able to bring on their clients, and as long as their client has got a green screen behind them, they're going to be able to control how good they look. They could be sitting in a bedroom for all it matters, as long as their equipment's decent enough to get a feed coming through. Your business. Rob has just purchased. Is that somebody from on here? Love it. Serenity's just joined. Awesome. Maybe that was you, Serenity. Is that your alias, Bob? We won't tell anyone. So yeah, we and I think what I might introduce this time, we had some real fun social media marketing world with green screen, and actually we covered ourselves, so it was just our heads out. Having a bit of a play. So there's the fun side of it. There's stuff you can do. There's overlays. When we've done at Christmas, I've done some really fun stuff on here. But at the same time, as Marissa said, corporately, it does great. Okay, so Rob says, I'm awesome. Thank you. So it was Rob. Cool. Right, I need to go. Sorry, if you're in the Ecamm community group, I'm going to jump on there again, answer some more questions, realise that everyone in there already knows what Ecamm is, but just encouraging them to really get the best out of it and with you. So the link is in here. We will put it back. Yeah, Bob was another customer. That was PayPal, so maybe it changes depending on who's committed, whether it's Stripe or PayPal. But love to work with you guys. Really excited to meet you on Monday in the group, get started, and I promise you will be mind blown by all the new features and all the exciting stuff we can do here. Right, now I must jump off because I've literally got 2 minutes before I'm live in the other group. So all the best. Keep the questions coming. Talk to me in the comments and I'll come back to you. But the link's there. Would love to work with you on Monday. All right. All the best, guys. Thank you so much for being here.